Speak smarter, daily advanced vocabulary in action. Alleviate, to reduce or relieve pain or difficulty. Example, this medicine may help alleviate your headache. Meticulous, showing great attention to detail, very careful and precise. Example, she was meticulous in planning every detail of the event. Ambiguous, open to more than one interpretation, unclear. Example, his response was so ambiguous that no one knew what he meant. Candid, honest, open, and sincere. Example, she gave a candid opinion about the movie. Ephemeral, lasting for a very short time. Example, the beauty of the sunset was ephemeral but unforgettable. Inevitable, certain to happen, unavoidable. Example, with the dark clouds gathering, the storm seemed inevitable. Scrutinize, to examine closely and carefully. Example, the teacher scrutinized each essay for plagiarism. Resilient, able to recover quickly from difficulties. Example, children are often more resilient than adults during tough times. Obsolete, no longer produced or used, outdated. Example. Many believe DVDs have become obsolete with online streaming. Serendipity, finding something good without looking for it. Example, meeting her again after all these years was pure serendipity. Apathetic, showing or feeling no interest or concern. Example, he remained apathetic despite the chaos around him. Concur, to agree with someone or something. Example, I concur with your conclusion about the results. Ubiquitous, present, appearing, or found everywhere. Example, mobile phones are now ubiquitous in modern society. Eloquent, fluent and persuasive in speaking or writing. Example, the speaker delivered an eloquent and powerful message. Tenacious, persistent, determined, and not giving up easily. Example, she remained tenacious despite facing repeated failures. Impeccable, perfect, without any flaws or errors. Example, his manners were impeccable throughout the evening. Discrepancy, a difference or inconsistency between facts or claims. Example. There was a discrepancy in the financial report. Ostentatious, showy, intended to attract notice. Example, he wore an ostentatious gold chain to impress others. Convoluted, extremely complex and difficult to follow. Example, the instructions were too convoluted to understand. Nefarious, wicked, evil, or criminal. Example, the villain's nefarious plot was finally exposed. Taciturn, reserved or uncommunicative in speech. Example, he was a taciturn man, rarely engaging in small talk. Imminent, about to happen very soon. Example, the arrival of the guests was imminent. Lucid, clear and easy to understand. Example, her explanation was so lucid that even a child could grasp it. Voracious, having a huge appetite or eager desire. Example, he has a voracious appetite for knowledge. Insinuate, to suggest something subtly or indirectly. Example, are you trying to insinuate that I was at fault? Perplexed, confused and puzzled. Example. She looked perplexed by the strange behavior of her friend. Magnanimous, very generous and forgiving. Example, despite the insult, he was magnanimous in his response. Reclusive, avoiding the company of others, solitary. Example, the author lived a reclusive life in the mountains. Impeach, to formally charge a public official with misconduct. Example, the committee decided to impeach the president. Erudite, having or showing deep knowledge. Example, he's an erudite scholar with decades of experience. Aesthetic, concerned with beauty or the appreciation of beauty. Example, the design has both functional and aesthetic appeal. Pragmatic, dealing with things sensibly and realistically. Example, her pragmatic approach helps solve the issue quickly. Reiterate, to say something again for emphasis or clarity. Example, let me reiterate, the deadline is tomorrow. Incessant, continuing without pause or interruption. Example, the incessant noise from the construction site was unbearable. Skeptical, having doubts or not easily convinced. Example, he was skeptical of the new treatment's effectiveness. Disdain, the feeling that someone or something is unworthy. Example, she looked at the messy room with disdain. Ostracize, to exclude someone from a group or society. Example, the student was ostracized for breaking the rules. Quintessential, representing the most perfect example. Example, she is the quintessential romantic heroine. Vicarious, experienced through the actions or feelings of another. Example, he lived a vicarious life through his children's success. Trivial, of little value or importance. Example, don't waste time arguing over trivial matters. Belligerent, hostile and aggressive. Example, his belligerent attitude led to a serious confrontation. Irrational, not logical or reasonable. Example, it was an irrational fear with no real cause. Melancholy, a feeling of deep sadness. Example, there was a note of melancholy in her voice. Repercussion, an unintended consequence. Example, his rude comment had serious repercussions at work. Vindicate, to clear from blame or suspicion. Example, the evidence will vindicate her innocence. Procrastinate, to delay doing something important. Example, he tends to procrastinate when facing tough decisions. Coherent, logically connected and consistent. Example, her argument was both coherent and compelling. Idiosyncratic, peculiar or individual in nature. Example, his idiosyncratic habits made him unique. Morbid, having an unhealthy interest in disturbing subjects. Example, she had a morbid fascination with horror stories. Ameliorate, to make something better or less bad. Example, these reforms are intended to ameliorate living conditions. Diligent, hardworking and careful. Example, she is a diligent student who always submits her work on time. Irritate, to annoy or make someone slightly angry. Example, his constant humming began to irritate everyone around. Dubious, hesitating or doubting. Example, the witness gave a dubious account of the incident. Enigma, a person or thing that is mysterious or difficult to understand. Example, her sudden disappearance remains an enigma. Reclusive, living alone and avoiding others. Example, the artist became reclusive after gaining fame. Compelling, evoking interest or attention in a powerful way. Example, the documentary was compelling from start to finish. Futile, incapable of producing any result, pointless. Example, all their efforts turned out to be futile. Nonchalant, feeling or appearing casually calm and relaxed. Example, he walked into the meeting with a nonchalant attitude. Astute, having sharp judgment and insight. Example, she made an astute observation about the market trend. Apprehensive, anxious or fearful that something bad may happen. Example, he felt apprehensive about the upcoming interview. Hypothetical, based on a guess or assumption. Example, let's consider a hypothetical scenario. Deteriorate, to become worse over time. Example. Her health began to deteriorate after the surgery. Zealous, showing great enthusiasm or passion. Example. The volunteers were zealous in their efforts to help. Ambivalent, having mixed or contradictory feelings. Example. He was ambivalent about moving to another city. Indigenous, native to a particular place. Example. These plants are indigenous to the region. Prestigious, having a high reputation or status. Example. She graduated from a prestigious university. Inadvertent, not intentional, accidental. Example. He made an inadvertent error in the report. Succinct, expressed in a clear and brief manner. Example. Keep your explanation succinct and to the point. Eminent, famous and respected within a particular field. Example. He is an eminent scientist known for his discoveries. Intricate, very detailed and complicated. Example. The artwork has intricate patterns and designs. Belligerent, aggressively hostile. Example. The belligerent protesters clashed with the police. Clandestine, kept secret or done secretly. Example. They held a clandestine meeting in the basement. Gregarious, sociable and fond of company. Example. He's a gregarious person who enjoys parties. Mundane, ordinary and dull. Example. She longed to escape her mundane routine. Audacious, bold, daring, or fearless. Example. It was an audacious decision to start a new business. Impartial, fair and unbiased. Example. The judge remained impartial throughout the trial. Hinder, to delay or obstruct. Example. The heavy rain will hinder the construction process. Capricious, unpredictable and changeable. Example. His capricious nature makes him hard to work with. Rebuke, to criticize sharply. Example. The manager rebuked the employee for being late. Elusive, difficult to find or achieve. Example. Sleep became elusive as the stress increased. Solace, comfort in a time of distress. Example. She found solace in reading poetry. Oblivious, unaware or unconscious of something. Example. He was oblivious to the fact that everyone had left. Jubilant, feeling or expressing great happiness. Example. The crowd was jubilant after the victory. Devious, showing a skillful use of dishonest tactics. Example. His devious methods eventually got him caught. Plausible, seeming reasonable or probable. Example. She gave a plausible explanation for the delay. Pertinent, relevant or applicable to the matter. Example. Please keep your questions pertinent to the topic. Reticent, not revealing one's thoughts or feelings easily. Example. He was reticent about sharing personal details. Whimsical, playfully quaint or fanciful. Example. The story had a whimsical charm that children loved. Haphazard, lacking order or organization. Example. The books were piled in a haphazard way. Condescending, showing a superior attitude. Example. His condescending tone irritated everyone. Malleable, easily influenced or shaped. Example. Young minds are malleable and open to learning. Subtle, not obvious or easily noticeable. Example. She wore a subtle shade of pink lipstick. Incisive, clear and sharp in expression or analysis. Example. His report was incisive and well researched.